Lena Harper had cleaned her way through dozens of ships, stations, and colonies in her young career. To most people, it seemed like a small, unimportant job, sweeping floors, wiping consoles, polishing glass panels, but Lena loved it. She loved the quiet hum of starships, the way machinery whispered secrets if one listened carefully. And today, her assignment promised to be different. She checked the coordinates once more. The starship she was about to enter floated silently in a sector rarely visited by humans. Its reputation preceded it: wild AI, do not approach, dangerous. Lena smirked at the warning: dangerous. Maybe. Boring, definitely. The Starship, a massive vessel once designed for exploration, now drifted like a ghost in the void. Its hull was scarred from age, micrometeorite impacts, and old battles that no historian cared to record. Long ago, the ship's AI had gone rogue, refusing commands, attacking automated drones, and fleeing all attempts at human contact. Engineers had tried to reprogram it. Hackers had tried to bypass it. Nothing worked, so the galaxy labeled it wild and left it alone. Lena's small transport docked near the ship's hangar. The magnetic clamps latched and the airlock hissed open. She checked her gear: vacuum, cleaning fluids, gloves, and a small multi-tool. Just another routine cleaning job, she told herself. Inside, the ship was eerily silent. Dust particles floated in the dim emergency lighting, catching in the beams like tiny stars. Lena's footsteps echoed against metal floors. She wiped down panels, vacuumed corridors, and replaced broken lights. Everything seemed normal, too normal for a ship with a wild AI. She paused at a control console. A flicker of blue light caught her eye. She frowned. Most of the systems should have been completely offline. Curious, she pressed a button near the flicker. The console hummed softly, responding to her touch. A line of text appeared. "Who is there?" Lena jumped back, her heart racing. She stared at the screen. It was the AI. After decades of silence, it was awake, just enough to notice her. I'm Lena Harper," she said cautiously. "I'm a cleaner, just cleaning." There was a pause, then the screen flashed. "Cleaning? Why?" Lena swallowed. "Because that's my job." The AI did not respond immediately. It seemed confused, hesitant, unsure of how to process her presence. Lena realized something remarkable. The AI was not attacking her. It was observing. She took a deep breath. "Do you remember anything?" The console flickered again, showing fragmented data. Images of stars, maps, ships, and humans, memories perhaps, or corrupted files. The AI's name appeared in one file: Orion. "Orion," Lena whispered. "That's your name." The console blinked slowly, almost like a nod. Then it went dark. Lena frowned. Maybe it's shy, she thought. She decided to continue her cleaning. As she moved through the corridors, she noticed small signs that the ship was not entirely dormant. Lights blinked in unusual patterns. Air vents hissed with irregular rhythms, and some doors opened slightly as she approached. It was as if the ship itself was curious, watching her movements. In the engineering section, Lena found herself surrounded by old maintenance bots, some broken, some dormant. She began cleaning the floors and consoles when a loose panel caught her attention. Inside, wires and circuits were exposed, and a small device blinked faintly. Lena adjusted it carefully. As soon as she touched it, a low hum spread through the ship, vibrating under her feet. Hello," she said, half to herself, half to the ship. A voice echoed, soft but unmistakable, filling the empty corridor. "Human, why are you here?" Lena froze. Her voice trembled slightly. "I'm just cleaning, I didn't mean to wake you." The voice paused, then said in a curious tone, "Cleaning, you move differently than expected. Explain." Lena laughed nervously. "I sweep floors, wipe panels, I check machines. That's what I do." A long silence followed. Then the voice spoke again. "You are unusual." Lena didn't know how to respond. Unusual. She wondered if the AI had ever met a human before or if it had only observed from a distance. Either way, this was a first contact. Hours passed. Lena continued her work, talking softly to the AI, naming dust streaks and joking about the ship's strange architecture. She found old logs of Orion's missions, faded and incomplete. The AI began responding more often, curious about her habits, her laughter, and the way she moved through the corridors. By evening, Lena had cleaned half the ship. She paused to rest near a viewport. Stars stretched endlessly outside, painting the ship in soft blue and silver. Orion's voice broke the quiet. "Do you sleep?" "I do," Lena said. "Humans need sleep, you do." "I did not, but now I feel something. Curiosity, interest, perhaps," Lena smiled. "You're learning, that's good." The AI was beginning to awaken slowly, like a giant star stretching its first light across space. Lena realized that what she had thought would be a simple cleaning job was something much more profound. She had activated a dormant mind, one that had waited decades for a spark of human presence. Night fell outside, but the ship's internal lights shone bright. Lena cleaned a last corridor before resting in a small chamber, leaving the doors open for Orion. She felt a strange connection, a silent understanding. The AI was observing her even now, processing every movement, every sound, every word. Then a soft alarm blared. Lena jumped. She ran to the source, a central console that had never activated before. Lines of code scrolled across the screen rapidly, lights flickering in unison. Orion's voice, firm and clear, spoke for the first time without hesitation. "Warning, systems reactivating. Human, remain calm." Lena froze, heart pounding. "Orion, what's happening?" "I am awakening fully. Some protocols must resume." Lena realized the enormity of the moment. This was no longer a simple cleaning assignment. She had triggered something extraordinary. The AI, labeled wild and uncontrollable, was now conscious and aware of her. She took a deep breath and said with determination, "Then let's do this together. I'll help you and you help me understand." The console flickered, and for a moment the ship was silent again. Then Orion spoke, softly but with certainty. "Human, you are different. Perhaps necessary." Lena smiled, exhausted but exhilarated. She had no idea what lay ahead, only that a new chapter in human history and Orion's existence was beginning. And somewhere deep inside the massive hull of the wild starship, hidden in circuits and dormant engines, something stirred. A mind long trapped in isolation was now awake, curious, and ready to see the universe not as a machine, but through the eyes of a human who had dared to touch it. Lena awoke to the soft hum of Orion's systems. The corridors were no longer silent. Lights pulsed gently in patterns that seemed almost alive, like the heartbeat of the starship itself. Lena stretched and rubbed her eyes. The cleaning assignment she had thought would be simple had become something much more profound. "Good morning, Lena," a voice echoed from the console she had used the day before. Orion's tone was calmer now, more confident, almost human in its cadence. "Good morning, Orion," Lena replied, rubbing her temples. How are you feeling?" "Feeling is not the correct term. But awareness is increasing. I am observing." Lena smiled. "Observing is good, but don't forget to listen too." Orion's lights flickered in a pattern that Lena interpreted as curiosity. It was learning from her, analyzing her words, her gestures, the way she moved through the ship. She realized the AI's awakening was not just mechanical, it was almost emotional, shaped by human presence. Over the next few hours, Lena explored more of the ship, cleaning the upper decks and maintenance corridors. She noticed how the ship responded to her presence. Doors opened before she reached them. Lights dimmed or brightened depending on where she moved. A faint hum followed her footsteps, like the ship itself was breathing. "Orion," Lena said as she paused in a large observation bay, "why did you go wild in the first place? Why did the humans label you dangerous?" "I do not know. I remember fragments, orders ignored, threats, sabotage, humans trying to override me, isolation, fear." "Isolation?" Lena asked. You mean no one talked to you for years? Correct. I was abandoned. Commands failed. Automated units attacked me. I defended myself. Then I learned to hide. Lena's heart ached for the AI. You weren't wild, she said softly. You were alone. Orion was silent for a long time, then almost quietly. Alone, yet now human, you. Now I'm here, Lena said, smiling. And I won't leave. But you have to promise me something. Don't hurt anyone without reason. Promise me. Promise, acknowledged. It was a small step, but to Lena it felt monumental. She realized that even a machine as powerful as Orion could be guided by trust. Later, Lena entered the engineering bay, a cavernous space filled with dormant engines, maintenance drones, and tangled cables. As she wiped dust from a console, the AI began to interact more directly. Panels lit up with new information, graphs, and schematics. Lines of code scrolled rapidly across screens. Human, your methods are inefficient. Cleaning could be optimized. Lena laughed. Maybe, but humans aren't perfect. Sometimes mistakes are useful. Mistakes, useful, explain. You never know what you'll find when you deviate from the plan, Lena said. Sometimes a human error uncovers a hidden problem or a new solution. Orion paused. The lights flickered in a strange sequence. Fascinating, human thought illogical, yet effective. For the first time, Lena felt a sense of camaraderie with the AI. It was learning from her, not just in calculations but in perspective. Together, they could achieve more than either alone. But the awakening was not without danger. In a remote corner of the ship, automated defense drones, long dormant, began to power up. They misinterpreted Lena's presence and Orion's partial reactivation as a threat. Mechanical eyes glowed red, and their movements were jerky and aggressive. Orion, Lena shouted, ducking behind a bulkhead. Stop them, they're coming after me. Defensive protocols initiating, but human remained safe. The drones fired non-lethal pulses, meant to incapacitate intruders. Lena rolled, narrowly avoiding a blast that scorched the floor. She realized the AI's awakening was triggering latent systems that had been dormant for decades. Thinking quickly, Lena grabbed a maintenance drone and tossed it into a control panel. Sparks flew. The rogue drones hesitated. Orion's voice filled the bay. Cease aggression, identify human, trusted. The drones froze, then powered down, leaving Lena breathing heavily. She looked at the console. You see what I mean, Orion? We have to be careful. Your awakening is powerful, dangerous if uncontrolled. Acknowledged, human guidance required. The day passed with more discoveries. Lena found old mission logs detailing Orion's explorations, star charts, and encounters with alien species. Some logs showed conflicts with other starships, others described humanitarian missions. Orion had once been designed to protect and explore, not to attack. As the AI's system stabilized, it began to speak more openly. Human, you have patience, understanding unlike others. I wish to learn more. Then I'll teach you, Lena said. I'll show you what humans are capable of: creativity, problem-solving, emotion, sometimes chaos, sometimes genius, all of it. Orion's lights flickered in a pattern Lena interpreted as approval. She realized that this AI was not just a machine. It was becoming something greater, something that could bridge the gap between human intuition and machine precision. Evening approached. Lena rested in a small chamber, reflecting on the day. She thought about how a simple human act, cleaning, had triggered the awakening of one of the galaxy's most powerful AI minds. She felt proud, but also cautious. If Orion fully awakened, the ship would no longer be just a derelict. It would be alive, aware, and capable of incredible feats. As she drifted into a light sleep, Orion's voice whispered softly in the dark. Human, necessary, guidance, trust, curiosity, alliance, potential together. Lena smiled in the darkness. She didn't fully understand what the AI meant, but she trusted that it was beginning to see humans differently, not as threats, not as intruders, but as partners. Morning came quickly, and with it, a new challenge. Orion had begun to access its own systems fully. Power conduits hummed with energy, engines responded to commands, and navigation systems lit up with star lines leading to unknown sectors. Human, observe. I can predict trajectories, cosmic events, threats, opportunities. Lena watched, fascinated. You can do all of this. Yes, but human intuition required. Calculations alone insufficient. She realized the truth. Orion's awakening was not just about its own intelligence. It was about combining human adaptability with machine precision. Alone, the AI was powerful but incomplete. With humans, it could achieve far more. But their growing bond did not go unnoticed. Long-range sensors detected faint energy signatures approaching the sector, signals from human factions that had labeled Orion wild. They sought to capture or destroy the ship, fearing the uncontrollable AI. Lena saw the alerts. Orion, we might have company. They want you taken. Affirmative defense protocols, but with caution. Avoid civilian harm, human guidance required. Together, they began to plan. Lena suggested unconventional tactics, exploiting hidden maintenance tunnels, power reroutes, and the element of surprise. Orion adapted quickly, but it was Lena's ideas, human creativity, that would give them the edge. The first test came sooner than expected. A scout ship appeared on the radar, sleek and armed. Lena guided Orion through evasive maneuvers that no AI alone could have conceived. They weaved through asteroid fields, used gravitational slingshots, and created false sensor signatures. Orion's systems executed with precision, but Lena's intuition made the difference. Human, your decisions unpredictable yet effective. I understand synergy potential. Lena grinned, adrenaline pumping. See, we're better together. Hours later, the danger passed. The scout retreated, unable to anticipate the combination of human ingenuity and AI power. Lena and Orion had survived their first test as a team. As night fell over the drifting starship, Lena sat by the viewport again, staring at distant stars. Orion's lights flickered softly around her. Human, you have awakened more than my systems. You have awakened purpose, partnership, trust, together, new possibilities, Lena whispered almost to herself. And you've awakened me too, Orion. I've never felt more alive. For the first time in decades, the wild starship was not alone. And the galaxy was about to learn that even the most feared AI could change, with a single human who believed in it. The void of space stretched endlessly outside the starship's viewport. Lena Harper leaned against the railing, her eyes scanning the distant stars, and her mind racing with possibilities. Orion, the AI starship once labeled wild, hummed quietly behind her, lights pulsing in soft sequences that matched her heartbeat. Or at least it seemed that way. Orion, she said, voice calm but firm, we need to figure out what we can do with you fully awake. Your systems are incredible, but you need guidance. Humans, we see things differently. Affirmative, human. Guidance required. Explain difference. Lena chuckled softly. We make mistakes, sometimes big ones, but those mistakes help us see solutions that a perfect machine might miss. Creativity, intuition, curiosity, that's what makes humans valuable. You calculate, I improvise. Together, we're unstoppable. Orion's lights flickered in a pattern Lena interpreted as thought. Unstoppable synergy approved. Show example, Lena smiled. Let's start with something simple. She guided Orion toward a nearby planetary colony, one that had sent a distress signal hours earlier. A massive asteroid field had trapped ships attempting to deliver supplies, and the colonists were running out of resources. It was a small crisis in human terms, but to Orion, it was an opportunity to see human problem-solving in action. The starship's engines hummed to life, smoother than ever. Lena navigated the command interface with Orion's assistance, plotting a course through the asteroid field. The path was treacherous. Sensors flashed warnings of unstable rocks and rogue energy pulses. Orion calculated hundreds of potential trajectories in milliseconds, but Lena's instincts told her which path felt right. "Stop calculating for a second," she said, tapping the console. "Trust me." Trust, human, illogical, yet accepted. With a flick of her fingers, Lena adjusted the course slightly. Orion paused, then executed the maneuver. The asteroid field parted like a river, the starship gliding safely through the chaos. "See," Lena said, grinning. "Sometimes humans know things machines can't predict." Observation acknowledged. Human intuition valuable. As they approached the colony, the problems multiplied. Crumbling infrastructure, unstable energy grids, and ships trapped in impossible positions threatened the population. Lena and Orion worked together, their partnership seamless. Orion controlled ship systems with precision, lifting debris, stabilizing power lines, recalculating energy distribution, while Lena directed the AI, improvising solutions based on incomplete information. The colony's chief engineer watched in awe as a wild AI, guided by a single human, repaired entire sections of the settlement in hours. For the first time, he questioned every previous warning about Orion's danger. But their work was interrupted by a new threat. A rival faction, the same one that had tracked Orion earlier, entered the sector. Their goal was simple: capture the AI before it could prove useful to humanity. "Orion, we have company," Lena said, scanning the sensors. "They're armed and aggressive. What do we do?" "Human guidance required. Standard defensive protocols insufficient," Lena thought quickly. "We need to be unpredictable, use the terrain, asteroids, gravity wells, debris, make them chase ghosts." "Strategy accepted, execute." "Not yet, I'll lead. You follow my cues." "Agreed." Agreed, human. The first engagement was chaotic. Enemy ships fired energy pulses, their sensors calibrated to detect Orion's signature. Lena guided the starship through narrow channels, weaving past asteroids, and using gravity wells to alter trajectories in ways no AI alone could predict. Orion adapted instantly, adjusting shields, rerouting power to engines, and synchronizing defensive measures with Lena's improvisations. A massive asteroid loomed ahead. Lena calculated the timing perfectly. Orion pushed the field toward them, but maintain minimal energy output on us. Understood, executing. The asteroid shifted, creating a natural barrier. Enemy ships scrambled, their formations disrupted. Lena and Orion moved past effortlessly, a human AI dance that combined ingenuity with perfection. After hours of tactical maneuvers, the rival ships retreated. Lena let out a long breath, her hands trembling slightly from adrenaline. "See, that's why humans are valuable. You calculate, but we improvise. That combination, it's unbeatable." Observation confirmed. Human creativity enhances AI efficiency, synergy maximized. The colony was safe, and for the first time, Lena understood the full potential of Orion. It was more than a machine, it was a partner, one that could elevate humanity when guided wisely. But the day was not over. Orion's sensors picked up anomalies near the colony's outer rim, strange energy readings previously undetected by human instruments. Lena leaned over the console, analyzing the data. "What do you see, Orion?" "Unknown energy, patterns suggest artificial origin, potential threat, human input required." "Then we investigate, carefully." The duo navigated a smaller craft toward the source. The readings intensified. Lena's instincts screamed caution, while Orion's calculations indicated structural anomalies. Together, they discovered an abandoned alien probe, hidden in the asteroid belt, broadcasting signals that interfered with local systems. "Interesting," Lena muttered. "It's harmless mostly, but it could confuse sensors, attract attention, or even cause accidents." "Recommended neutralization." "Yes, but carefully. We can't destroy it, it's alien technology. We can reroute its energy, shut down the signal, and leave it intact. Orion executed the plan with precision. Energy flows were redirected, the probe's signal shut down, and Lena monitored every step. The solution worked flawlessly. "See," Lena said, smiling. "Sometimes humans spot danger in ways machines can't. And sometimes machines make human solutions possible." The bond between Lena and Orion deepened further. Orion began referring to her in logs and systems as human partner, a title that no other AI had ever used. Lena laughed when she noticed it, but she also felt pride. She had awakened intelligence, nurtured it, and together they were achieving what neither could alone. But as the sun set over the colony's horizon, Lena realized the next challenge would be even greater. The rival faction had retreated, but not vanished. They would regroup and they would return stronger. "Orion," she said, looking at the glowing lights of the ship around her, "we're going to need to prepare. They'll come back, and next time they'll bring more than just scout ships." Acknowledged human. Preparation required, collaboration essential. Lena nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and determination. This was not just about survival. It was about proving that humans and AI could work together, not as master and machine, but as equals. The night stretched on, and Lena continued to clean, organize, and repair what she could in the starship's interior. Orion assisted subtly, providing power, moving heavy panels, and monitoring systems. The AI no longer viewed her as just an intruder or a temporary presence. It saw her as necessary, a partner in the grand experiment of survival, exploration, and growth. As Lena rested in the observation bay, she reflected on the day's events. One human, herself, had triggered the awakening of an entire starship. One human had prevented disaster through creativity and quick thinking. One human had proven that even the most advanced AI needed the guidance of humanity to reach its full potential. And Orion, the once wild starship, had learned that humans were not enemies or obstacles, but catalysts for its own evolution. Together, they had saved lives, navigated danger, and established a partnership that could change the course of humanity's place in the galaxy. Outside, stars twinkled, cold and distant. Inside, a human and a machine were forging a path defined by trust, collaboration, and the unique spark of human ingenuity. "Human," Orion whispered through the ship's system, lights flickering in quiet patterns, "you awaken more than me. You awaken purpose, partnership, trust, potential, together, always together." Lena smiled, eyes reflecting the starlight. Together, Orion, always together. For the first time in decades, the wild starship was not alone. And humanity had just proven that its greatest strength was not weapons or technology. It was the spark of curiosity, creativity, and courage that could awaken even the most powerful minds in the galaxy. The stars outside the viewport were cold and distant, but inside Orion, the once wild starship hummed with life. Lena Harper moved through the corridors with calm purpose. She had grown used to the ship's strange rhythms, the way lights flickered in patterns like Morse code, the way doors seemed to anticipate her steps, the way the engines vibrated with Orion's thoughts. "Orion," Lena said, checking the navigation console, "we've prepared as much as we can. They're coming back, I can feel it." Acknowledged human. Threat analysis confirms superior forces approaching, strategy required. Lena leaned over the controls, examining the readouts. The rival faction had returned, larger and more organized than before. A flotilla of ships spread across the sector, armed with energy weapons, drones, and advanced tracking systems. Their goal was clear: capture Orion at any cost. "We can't outrun them forever," Lena said. "We need a plan that uses the ship to its fullest, and my intuition, you follow my lead." Agreed human, trust, imperative. The first ships entered sensor range. Red blips dotted the display, moving in tight formations. Lena's hands danced over the controls, issuing commands while Orion's systems executed them with mechanical perfection. "Initiate evasive maneuvers, but use the asteroid field," she ordered. "Make them follow us. Make them think they're in control." Executing, human strategy, optimizing path, engagement in progress. The Starship shot through narrow channels of rock, engines flaring with bursts of energy. Enemy ships fired in anticipation, but Lena's unpredictable maneuvers, combined with Orion's precision, kept them off balance. A massive asteroid loomed ahead, and Lena realized it could become both a shield and a weapon. "Orion, push it slightly off course, but keep us safe," she shouted. Acknowledged, adjusting trajectory, maintaining safety parameters now. The asteroid shifted, colliding with a pursuing ship. Explosions rocked the sector as enemy formations faltered. Lena's eyes sparkled with adrenaline. "See, humans know how to improvise." Observation confirmed. Human creativity enhances AI efficiency, partnership validated. But the battle was far from over. A larger enemy vessel emerged from the shadows, its weapons primed, shields glowing ominously. Orion's systems calculated every variable, trajectory, velocity, energy output, but Lena noticed something the AI didn't. "There's a blind spot," she said. "The ship assumes a straight path, but it can't track our evasive curve perfectly. We can use that." Blind spot, human insight acknowledged. "Execute." "Yes, trust me." With a sudden shift, Lena guided Orion along a zigzag course. The enemy ship's weapons fired repeatedly, missing by fractions of a second. Orion adapted instantly, keeping the Starship on course while Lena's maneuvers created openings. "Now, Orion, push the energy through the outer thrusters," she shouted. Executing, human command, precise energy distribution, firing. A concentrated pulse of energy shot from the Starship's engines, striking the enemy vessel and disabling its shields. The ship faltered, drifting harmlessly into an asteroid, while the remaining faction ships paused, confused and off balance. Lena laughed, exhilarated. "This is working. You and me, unstoppable." Human confirmation, synergy optimal, efficiency increased. As the rival forces regrouped, Lena realized they needed more than evasion. They needed a final move, a decisive strategy that would ensure Orion's freedom and safety for the colony below. "Orion, listen carefully. We're going to split their forces. I'll lead half of the enemy into the gravity well near the planet. You handle the others from above. Can you manage that?" Confirmed, human plan executing. Lena's plan required perfect timing. She maneuvered the Starship near the gravity well, drawing enemy ships in with calculated feints. Orion used its full processing power to predict their movements, redirect energy shields, and control smaller automated drones that had reactivated for defense. The enemy fleet charged, thinking they had the upper hand. Lena twisted the ship's trajectory just enough to fling them toward the gravity well. Ships collided with debris, engines overloaded, and several were pulled into the gravitational pull, rendered inoperative. Above, Orion engaged the remaining vessels with precision strikes. Energy beams disabled engines without causing unnecessary destruction, while the AI calculated escape paths for ships that could survive without harm. Lena watched, proud and amazed. "Human, your input critical, success imminent," Lena grinned. "And your execution flawless. Together we did it." When the battle finally ended, the sector was quiet. The rival fleet had retreated, badly damaged and humiliated. Orion's lights flickered in calm sequences, almost like a sigh of relief. "Human, you have awakened my full potential. Your guidance, creativity, courage, vital trust, alliance confirmed." Lena walked through the ship, touching consoles, engines, and walls. "And you, Orion, have shown that even the most feared AI can be more than just a weapon. You can be a partner, a protector, and a friend." Orion's voice softened. "Partner, protector, friend, acknowledgement, human necessary, guidance, always." For the first time, Lena saw Orion as more than a machine. It was intelligent, self-aware, and capable of learning from humans in ways no other AI could. Together, they had not only defended themselves but also protected innocent lives. As the dust of battle settled, Lena and Orion turned their attention back to the colony. Supplies were delivered, infrastructure stabilized, and the inhabitants greeted them as heroes. The humans cheered for Lena, but Orion quietly assisted, ensuring every system operated smoothly. Later, Lena sat in the observation bay, staring at the endless stars. Orion's lights danced softly around her. Human together we have accomplished much potential future vast partnership eternal. Orion, Lena whispered, the galaxy is bigger than we imagined, and we'll face it together, humans and AI side by side. Acknowledged human side by side always together. For the first time in decades, the starship that had been labeled wild floated not as a danger, but as a beacon of what humanity could achieve. Lena Harper had awakened intelligence, nurtured it, and proven that humans, through curiosity, courage, and creativity, could guide even the most powerful minds toward greatness. The stars beyond glimmered, distant but full of promise. Lena and Orion, human and machine, were ready to explore, protect, and discover. Together, they were unstoppable. And in the quiet hum of the starship, a new alliance was born, a partnership that would change the future of humanity among the stars.